Welcome back from the break. This is Privacy Focus, and we are talking about compliance and the enforcement part of compliance. Dr. Patrick, the enforcement part of compliance, what does that involve and what has happened so far to data controllers that are privy to the fact that this is what they need to do but have not done it?
All right, thank you very much. So a lot has happened. A lot has happened. I'm going to pick it up from the Commission's benevolence in dealing with and the very carefulness in dealing with data controllers. In 2020, the Commission, under the leadership of the Executive Director and the Board, had discussions with the Minister of Communication Digitalization, and the Commission launched an amnesty system. The amnesty system said that, look, if you're an institution and you've neglected your legal responsibility, okay, you're a data controller and you've not done what you're supposed to do, the Commission gives you 6 good months to actually come and make right what is wrong for free. So if any institution took advantage of that 6 months window, every arrear or every breach of the law, like I read to you, Section 97, subsection 1 and 2 talks about when a person must register with the Commission if they're a data controller. So if you've breached all this, the Commission says that come and register so that we forget everything and then we can go on a smooth journey, hand in hand and ever good into the moon. And this same amnesty said that if an institution still refuses to take advantage of the amnesty, now, when they are coming to now do what is right, we will charge them arrears. We will charge them arrears up to when they registered. To the date they registered, we will calculate all the arrears they owe and actually charge them on it. So the amnesty was both, that decision was both an amnesty and a punitive enforcement. Now, so this took place from October 2020 and ended in March 2021. So all the institutions that registered with the Commission within this period, found themselves free. They didn't have to now make do with all the misdoings they had done before. But all institutions that did not take advantage of this from March 2021 have had to pay penalties and arrears. So we will calculate, in this part of enforcement, so we will calculate every arrear you owe to the Commission if you did not take advantage of the amnesty, and we'll give it to you to pay by law, unless you have legal proof that you have to be waived, and you provide that to the Commission and they will waive that off. Now, we are working together with all peer regulators, and data protection has been made or is being made an eligibility criteria. What it means is that if you don't have the data protection certificate as a data controller, you would not attain or receive the certificate you need in your sector to work. For instance, as it stands now, if you don't have the data protection certificate as a banker or any institution any financial institution who works under Bank of Ghana, you will not be able to operate. They will not give you the license to operate until you have a data protection certificate. The same is with NCA, so all these radio and TV stations, so you have to. NPRA, all the pension fund managers, you need to get a data protection certificate before they can give you a certificate to work. Many others like that. And we are pushing this hard so that it becomes a clear means of enforcement for persons to be able, for data controllers to be able to do, to do what they must do. But there is a section of enforcement I love so much. Before I picked up this office as a Director of Regulatory and Compliance and Data Protection Commission, during my interview, my drive was that I had picked up something that I loved and I learned from FDA. Now there is a mental essential in our system, in our subconscious, that until you hear this advert has been vetted and approved by the Food and Drugs Board, you will not trust a product. You will not buy any water. You will not buy any edibles, drinkables, or anything that enters your system. Ghanaians have come to accept that the Food and Drugs Board must authorize a product that is edible or any of these things before before it's accredited as good. So as soon as you hear this advert is vetted and approved by the by the Food and Drugs Board, even if the product is not good, you tend to like it. My drive as a Director of Regulatory and Compliance in the Commission is to push the Commission to a point where a Ghanaian would have to hear this advert has been vetted and approved by the Data Protection Commission before you want to deal with a bank because you are giving them your information, before you'll be able to deal with a church because you are giving them your information, before you'll be able to deal with any other company, even a hairdressing salon, because sometimes you give your information to them. And so that's where we are going, and that's what we want to do. That's a passion with which the Commission is working. One day, we must be able to get Ghanaians accept that they will hear that this institution I'm dealing with has been approved by the Data Protection Commission. So before I give them my data. But how can this happen? And that's a section of enforcement I like. We can do everything we want to do as a commission, and this will not work until the bigger mass of the enforcers, that is the data subject, demand. When they demand that I want to see your certificate, I want to make sure that you have the right to handle my personal data, whether you're a bank, a church, a school,
a hospital.
Very important, because medical data is, you see, as I'm talking to you, if you knew, or just in case I had any dangerous sickness and you knew, it will quickly change your attitude towards me. That's true, and that's human. If we knew all the people who had HIV, AIDS, working with us every now and then, we would just, our attitude will change towards them. And that's somebody's personal data. If you don't take good care of that personal data, you will just ruin the relationship of that person. And so the biggest form of enforcement is when the data subject, that's your viewers, when they know that they are so powerful. They are so powerful in this ecosystem, and they can demand their rights. That's the biggest form of enforcement. In fact, let me take this opportunity to tell every Ghanaian that if you go anywhere, and they ask you to put down write your name, your phone number before you enter the hall, ask them what they're going to use it for. It's your right. It's your right. You have the right to be informed. You have the right to contest. You have the right to refuse processing of
especially when it's opened there,
and it's always open.
It's always opened.
It's almost always open. Today, everywhere you enter, they want you to. And some people ask, they write your name. Who is your wife? What is the length of your wife? What color is she? What's her bank number? What do you need my wife's bank number for to be able to enter a building? You don't need that. And we have a culture as a people that refrains from insisting on our right. So if you do things like that, everybody will say, oh, I know you're changing this. No, it's your right. And we have to build the data subject ecosystem to understand that the biggest form of enforcement we can ever do in this country is when the data subject, the ordinary Ghanaian, quote unquote, the ordinary Ghanaian insists on the protection of their personal data. Let me end by saying that, look, your name, your phone number, your email address, and every other thing that is defined as your personal data is money for somebody. And so you must protect how it is processed and how it is used.
This conversation has got me thinking, probably as a data subject, that well, there are already established institutions in the system who may or may have not registered with the Data Protection Commission of Ghana. But talking about peer regulators like the RDG, for example, Registered General's Department, RGD, what about having that collaboration with them so that at the starting point of registering a business that would come to employing people and using their data and deciding whether you will or will not register with the commission, can there be a collaboration right there so that before you come up with your business, you know that you need to register with the Data Protection Commission of Ghana?
Yes, you're right. I mean, more or less, respectfully, it's a no-brainer, so that as soon as people register, they will perhaps just have a notification on their phone that says that your next step is go and register at the Data Protection Commission. Sure. And that is hugely underway.
Great.
That's
it's
hugely
good to
underway.
know.
So sooner than later, we are confident in saying that all the efforts will merge up and we'll see the beauty of the... You see, many civil servants and public servants keep receiving unsolicited text messages.
Yes, order of
from
the day.
Every day. Some people receive as many as 40 text messages a day. You see, the ordinary Kenyan, when they see that message, they say just delete it. One crown or how much? No. Now, that's a symptom. It's a symptom that your data has been breached. Now, respectfully, we don't go around writing our phone numbers and our names on walls. Normally, when we give our phone number, it normally comes with a package of personal data. It maybe come with your name, your email address, your bank account. Whenever you just don't give anybody, or you don't write your phone number anywhere just like that. It comes with other personal details of yours. So if somebody has gotten your personal data and they are able to send you messages, come for loan, come for this every day, the question we must ask ourselves is that, what other personal data of yours do they have? Now they have your phone number and they are using it. What other do they have your bank account? Could they have your health data? What now they are deploying phone number? What could they deploy tomorrow?
Yeah.
And so it is not just a matter of, oh, I don't like this. No, we are sitting on an infodemic time bomb. When you look at the number, have you received that message before?
I have countless times.
I have. My wife has. Do you understand? And so you can imagine if at this scale, and many of the people who are listening to us right now have, what does that tell us? If we don't react as a nation, if the entire system doesn't arrest the situation, I can assure you, sooner than later, it's just at a click of a button. All the work you've done and your money in your account, somebody at a click. You see, in the next few years, armed robbery will not be about people holding guns and sitting in cars. Nobody would have time for that. It will be so archaic. Everything will just be at the click of a button. Data protection is not an option for anybody, and that's why every single stakeholder must take it as important as possible for us to be able to sanitize the ecosystem.
Thank you very much for joining us on Privacy Focus. Many thanks to you out there watching us, and I hope that you're also getting the information and the education about how important your own data is. Many thanks for joining us. Next week, see you then. Privacy Focus is supported by Clean Eats. Clean Eats, healthy fast food.